Hello, everyone. Welcome back. This is Sharon. We're going to talk about crisis today. What is a crisis? What causes crisis? And what is the definition of a crisis? And how can we deal with a crisis? First of all, crisis is just unexpected change. That's all it is. An unexpected change. A change that you didn't plan for, that you wasn't expecting to happen. A lot of people live their lives as if change is not going to come. They think things are going to stay the same, and they don't. Things just do not stay the same. There's change everywhere. Everywhere around you, there's change. And we don't plan for it, and it catches off guard. And let's give a definition of change or crisis. It's an event, a circumstance, a situation that affects you and your environment with no direct cost, control, or responsibility from you. But we do know that we can cause change or crisis to come into our lives simply because of our actions and our behavior. And what am I talking about? Okay, let's say you're speeding down the highway. You had a little too much to drink and you're out there driving and you're speeding down the highway. You get caught, you get pulled over. You wasn't expecting that, were you? You weren't expecting to get pulled over and go to jail and get arrested. And now you have a big expense following that, and you may lose your license, or that's a crisis for you. And we should always prepare and plan for a crisis. And we do that by we have insurance on our home, we have insurance on our lives, we have health insurance, and we have insurance on a car, because we buy those things, and sometimes nothing ever happens, but we pay for those things forever. But we, just in case change come, we're prepared for it. So, and that's the same way we should do in our daily lives. Whether a crisis come or not, we should always plan for it. We should plan for our retirement. We may not live that long, but we should plan for it. We should have a plan for it. And we should set back some savings for it. I always have a plan A, plan B, and plan C. And don't put all your eggs in one basket. Like some people, they lose all their money in the stock market because they have everything in the stock market. They don't diversify. Never put everything in just one thing. Spread it out and try to get a stock. So try to get bonds or certificates and things that's not attached to the stock market. Because we know the stock market go up and down. One day is up, then it's down. You earn, then you lose. It's a roller coaster. And the same way, we should plan for a change because we know it's coming. We know it's coming. So let's talk about some things that could cause change in our lives or a crisis. Maybe a death of a child or a parent or a spouse. We don't expect that. We don't expect that, even though we do know that death is coming and we all will die. Like you don't leave this earth alive. We know we're going to die at some time, we just don't know when. And a lot of times because we don't know when, we don't plan for it. we don't even think about it. But we see death all around us. People die every day. But we think, oh, that's not going to happen to us no time soon. We don't think it's going to happen to us, and it will happen to us. It will happen to us. And when death comes, I really don't think you can really plan for it because it's devastating. When death comes, it devastates us, especially the death of a child. Nobody wants to even imagine, even think about losing their child to death. Even though we know our parents is going to die because they get older and older, and we know eventually they are going to die, but we don't think about it. We like to put stuff like that out of our minds. So those things can be devastating. Now that is a time when you need to get help. You need to have someone you can turn to, someone you can talk to, someone can help you through it. But even if you do have someone to talk to, you still have to go through that grieving process. It's a process you have to go through. You have to just have to feel that pain. You just have to go through. And there's no set limit on when you grieve. Some people grieve longer than others and some don't. But it's a process. You got to go through it. And even if you go through it, you're still going to miss that person. You're still going to think about that person. You still very much want things to be different, if that makes sense. You spend a lot of time wishing things could go back the way they used to, but we know they're not going to. It's devastating. Ask me how I know. Divorce, especially when you didn't see it coming. You're thinking everything is just all hunky-dory, everything is fine, and just out of the clear blue sky, your partner tells you they don't want to be with you no more. They want a divorce. They want to break up the family. That can be devastating, especially when you didn't even know. You didn't even know that person was feeling that way. What else? A loss of a home. Your home go into foreclosure. And you're so far behind in payments, you just can't get caught up and you end up losing your home. I mean, you may have lived in that home for 10, 15, even 20 years and you end up losing your home. See, what else? A loss of a job. I don't know if I said that or not, but a loss of a job. Maybe you one of those people that have been in the job for 25 years and you think you're going to retire from that job. And all of a sudden, you get a pink slip. Or they go out of business. I mean, what are you going to do? You don't have any more skills, especially if you're older and you don't have any other job skills. And it is, we all know that it's harder for an older person to get a job because the company rather have somebody younger so they could pay them less money. If they bring you in with all the years of experience that you have, they're going to have to pay you more. So they rather hire somebody young with no experience so they can pay them less money. Maybe your child or spouse become addicted to drugs or alcohol. That's devastating. It rips the family apart. And it brings shame and guilt to the family. Or maybe you have a rebellious teenager who is determined to have their way. They don't want to follow your rules anymore. They want to do their own thing. But they still want to stay in your house eating your food, but they still want to do what they want to do. I mean, that's it's horrible. It's horrible, and you don't know what to do. You don't know what to do. You try to find help for them, and they are resistant to help. And they may even become physically abusive to you. What do you do when your child attacks you? That's a crisis. What do you do when your partner, your spouse, start abusing you and attacking you? What do you do? Your world has just been turned upside down. You don't know what to do. And how do you respond to those things? How do you cope with that? How do you make sense of that? Especially when you have never experienced any of these things before, and you just don't know what to do. Or you may respond with fear. Or you may respond with anger or depression, despair. You may feel frustrated because no matter what you do, no matter what you try to do, that just keep digging yourself deeper and deeper and deeper in that hole, and there doesn't seem to be any help for you. Or you may feel hopeless or helpless. Those are some of the normal responses. And what can we do? What can we do at times like that, especially when things come at us so fast and it's so new, something we never experienced before, and we didn't plan for this. We didn't plan for this. So what can you do? Well, if you have extended family that you can turn to, it's a good time to reach out to your family because you're going to need a support system. You need somebody who's willing to help support what's going on in your life. Maybe financially or with some information on where you can find help. You're gonna need somebody, especially if you've never been through anything like this before, you're not gonna know what to do. You won't know where to begin. So you need to reach out. Never be afraid to reach out and ask for help. And look in your community. In your community, there are agencies that can help you in times of need. There are some places you go get food or clothing or assistance with your light bill, water bill, and they even governmental programs that can help assist you with making your mortgage payments if you get behind. They can assist you on making your mortgage payments. So there's help out in the community. You just have to go out there and work and find it. And a good way for that, and when things are going good in your life, make a list of all the resources in your community. Have a list, because just go through and ask people about programs, trying to find out about different programs that's available in the community. Not that you need it at that point, but you need to have a list of places that you can call in case you need them. And maybe if you don't need them, you may know somebody that will need it, and you will have all that information there for them. And that's planning. That's how you plan for a crisis. Never let it catch you off guard. I think the only thing that will and can catch you off guard is death. That's nobody ever thinks about that. Just think about 9/11. When those people got up that morning to go to work, they had no idea what was going to happen to them. They had no idea what was in store for them. They had no idea, their families had no idea that when they left that morning, that was going to be the last time they seen their loved one alive. And in a lot of those cases, they never seen their loved ones again because some of those bodies wasn't found. It's horrible. So they did not plan for that. I'm sure they had insurance, but they did not plan for that. So that was an unexpected change. That was a crisis. And in times like this, if you don't pray, you need to pray. But if you don't have a relationship with God, then you need to get a relationship with God. Because He's the only one who can help you in times of trouble. And if you have strayed away from your relationship with God, it's time to come back. It's time to come back and renew, refresh, restore your relationship with God. Repent from your behaviors and come back. Because God is the only one that can help you. He's the only one that has all the answers to all the problems in the universe. So don't be afraid. Don't run away from the very help. And He is your help in time of trouble, so don't run from Him. So that leads me to the point where if you consider yourself a Christian, what do you do? Now, the scriptures tell us that we walk by faith, not by sight. We don't look at the circumstance that's going on around us. We look at the end results. Because we know trouble don't last always. Trouble will not last always. Now, when we're going through, it seems like it's going to last always, and it seems like it's going to be the end of us, but it's not. Because we were told by Yahshua, and people call Him Jesus, but I call Him Yahshua. He told us that we're going to have, in this life, we will have trials and persecutions. He did. And He told us that the student is not greater than the teacher. So if the teacher had to go through and suffer, we will too. But He said he overcame, and we are overcomers too. We can overcome as long as we put our faith and our trust and our hope in Him. As long as we don't try to rely on ourselves, we will be okay. If we just relax and rest in Him and believe His word, then we will be okay. It gives us peace of mind to know that we can go through anything, but we don't have to go through alone. He's there with us. He said He will never leave us or forsake us. And look at things. Things come in seasons. Things come in season. Sometimes when people come into our lives, we they only come for, maybe they only come for a season. But we try to force them to stay forever. We hold on tight to them. We grab them. And when it's time to let them go and loosen that grip, we don't want to. We want to force them to stay with us. We're going to beat them. We're going to hurt them. We're going to threaten them. We want them to stay, and they were not meant to stay. They were only for a season. And that's why you the people kill their spouses and hurt their spouses when they're trying to leave, because they're trying to force something that was not meant to be. And how long is the season? I don't know how long a season lasts. But when it's time to let go, let go. Don't force yourself on people. Let them go. Because God says that as long as the earth endures, there will be seasons. There'll be summer and winter, hot and cold, seed time and harvest time, and day and night. That's what he said. It comes in seasons, everything. It never stays the same. So if somebody in your life want to leave you or walk away from you, say bye-bye. Let them go. Don't resort to anything crazy or anything violent. Put your faith and your hope and your trust in God, and you will overcome these things. So that's all I have to say today. That's all I have to say, and I hope I said something that could help you. And if you like my content, like it, share it, subscribe, and leave your comments. Leave some comments. Please, I beg you, leave some comments, because I really do want to know what you think. So until next time, be blessed.